Hi, my name is Miriam Bernabei, and I'm a volunteer here at Greenburgh Town Hall. After working more than 30 years in education, there's nothing I enjoy more than seeing young people doing inspiring things. One young person who truly exemplifies that spirit is my guest today, Lala Wu. Lala is currently a senior at Edgemont High School in Scarsdale and is one of the original founders of the Bluebird Photography Club. This talented group of young photographers is currently showcasing their work in an exhibit here at Town Hall, offering our community a glimpse into the creativity and vision of its members. Hi, Lala, welcome. We're so happy to have you here. Can you start by just telling us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in photography and how you got involved with this club?
Thank you so much for having me, Ms. Bernabei. My name is Lala. I'm a senior at Edgemont High School in Scarsdale, and I'm one of the co-founders of the Bluebird Photography Club. Last year, one of our seniors, his name is Derek's son, he took inspiration from a Belgian play called Bluebird, and that's where he got our name. Inside the play, it showed two children trying to find a bluebird of happiness, only to find that it was in their backyard all along. And we wanted to reflect this in our own community, where we can find both imperfect and perfect things, and just wanted to reflect and inspire dialogue.
Now, was it difficult starting the club? How did you go about doing that with the school and the administration? What did you do?
So I was the director of photography for our yearbook, and so he found me and we co-founded this together. Starting a club at my school is actually quite simple. We filled out a few forms and we found Mr. Coffin. He's our photography digital arts teacher, and so he's our advisor. And then together we found a bunch of students who were passionate for photography, and we formed this club, and it grew this year. And as we opened up to more incoming students.
So it's not like they don't have to audition or do anything special,
No,
like pass a test.
It's an open club.
It's an open club. That's really nice. And do you include middle school students also, or just high school?
Yes, it's open. Our school is junior, senior high school, so our middle and high is together. So we open it for anybody from 7th to 12th.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. What is the vision behind the current exhibit that is downstairs?
The main themes of the gallery is mental health and environmental awareness, and our vision behind it was how we're all seniors and mental health is becoming a more important subject to talk about as we struggle to balance our workload and trying to find some calmness in our lives, so we wanted to reflect that through our photography.
I think you did, because I just saw the exhibit and it's lovely.
Thank you.
You mentioned some of the photos capture nuances, both beautiful and imperfect, and I was wondering what that actually means to you, and if you can identify that in some of the photos that are in the exhibit.
Sure. To me, both beautiful and imperfect, it reflects the idea of the importance of trying to find a balance in our lives. That's something I struggle with, and that's something a lot of our members struggle with as well. Like, everybody struggles with that, and we reflect that through our photography. For example, in the piece Sweet Release by Caden Min, it shows a juxtaposition between drugs and sweet M&Ms, where he very creatively replaced pills with singular M&Ms, and it shows just the difference between something sweet but something also dangerous like drugs, which is addictive, and how sweet M&Ms can also become addictive. And it's not healthy to eat a lot of them, but if you eat a few, it brings us joy.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of powerful pieces down there. Any other one that comes to mind?
There's another one called Barrier. I took that while looking at a sunset, and it just shows how beautiful a sunset can be, but when you have a fence in front of it, it shows how it's so close, it's right in front of your eyes, but it's also so hard to reach.
Yeah, that was another beautiful piece.
Thank you.
How do you and the other members approach the photography? Is it planned, spontaneous, or collaborative? And do you use digital, or or dark room? Is there a dark room anymore? I mean,
Yeah, we have a photo lab in our school, and inside there's a dark room. It's really cool. I've worked with it before, but my pictures were all taken on a digital camera. There is some members who take photography classes in our school. There's a bunch of courses offered, and they have an opportunity to work with the darkroom. For example, there's a piece called A Path to Nowhere, and that was taken on film, so it had to be exposed. And I find this picture especially cool because when it was exposed, it was, the top part of it was overexposed, so it's overly white compared to the rest of the picture, and it just shows how the subject walking in the path in the woods with her dog is kind of walking into the future, walking into the unknown because it's all white. And that's really fitting for the title as well.
yeah, for sure. Now, in terms of, do you guys ever collaborate on a photograph, or is it mostly independent work?
We host meetings throughout the year, but not as many. A bunch of us, we work with what we have individually, but then some of us, if we're close together, we also ask each other to model for us. For example, one of the sophomores, she asked a friend and neighbor to model for her, and that's how we worked with other people in our pieces.
Cool. What surprised you most about your own work or somebody else's work? What was the biggest surprise that came out of all this?
I think one of the hidden gems in our gallery is the unique placement of two pieces that are supposedly not related, but Miss Sarah White really creatively placed them together. One of the pieces is called Blue Angels, and that it portrays 4 Air Force Navy planes, and the other one is of a protest scene, and putting them both together, taken by different artists, it shows war and peace, and I found that to be really surprising.
Yeah, that's also very impressive. And the colors even go together too.
It's so
the sky,
blue
blue sky. What has been people's reactions to your work? Any memorable conversations that you heard maybe at the opening or somewhere along the line?
We've had a few parents come, and it was just really, it was a very joyful event, I think, because for us, photography isn't really a prominent style of art in our school, and we want to bring it out to a bigger audience. And I think there were more parents coming here and more students as well this year, and I think we kind of succeeded in doing that a little bit. And
any specific things about, one of the pictures that you remember somebody saying, that surprised you, or that was, I don't know, something special that they said?
One of the pictures called Nameless by Kaden Min again, it's taken of a figure, one of our friends. She's walking under a light at night, and it shows the shadow is on her face, and just how kind of we struggle with our identity as adolescents. And a bunch of different people in the audience, we've had different takes on where it was taken. People have said it was taken on a boardwalk, like you said, it was taken on train tracks. I thought it was taken on a bridge in the Bronx. It was actually taken on our athletics field path, which I thought was really, really surprising how Kaden was able to Photoshop the light and create a nuance with the light.
Surely, because it does kind of feel spooky a little bit, and the fact that it's on your path, which is probably someplace you walk all the time.
Yes.
So that can be different and interesting. What do you envision next for the club? Any future plans? I know you're graduating, so you're leaving, but what do you hope happens for the club? I
hope that whoever we pass the club on to can continue this gallery, and that it could become a tradition for our school. And to collaborate with the Greenburgh Town Hall it's a really beautiful experience.
Yeah, and you said that you did it last year as well, right? That's great.
Last year was our first gallery.
Nice. And what advice would you give other students in your school about opening a new club, creating a new club, and some new ideas? What would you say to them?
I would say to really go with your heart, and even whatever you want, if you have a few friends, you could just create together. Creating a club isn't hard at our school. I think our administration, they really want to foster the sense of community and shared joy for a certain subject. So even if you are a little shy, you can still try.
And what has being a part of this club and putting this exhibit together taught you about yourself? That's a philosophical question.
It taught me how we can find a lot of nuance in our own life, and how even in like the daily moments, my photography is a little bit more spontaneous, and how we can magnify the tiny moments in our life to find the nuances, the joys, the sadness, but also to find the balance in that. And everything added together makes us stronger as a person.
I think that's really good, especially as you go off to college, and I think balance is key. And
Yes.
you're delightful, and I'm so happy to meet you and happy to see the exhibit, and thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. A big thank you to Lala, and as always to Paul Feiner, Sarah Bracey White, Janelle Wallace, and our videographer Terrence Brosnan. I urge you all to come to Town Hall and visit this inspiring exhibit.